Hi guys, it's Khadijah and welcome back to my channel. So today we're actually trying something new. I'm using a microphone and I feel like I literally never just sit down and talk straight to the camera. So that's what we're doing today. I actually want to start this as a podcast and I'm considering it because I've just listened to so many podcasts all the time. It's literally like my holy grail, and I feel like listening to people talk, or specifically listening to women and women of color talk, helps me so much. So I thought it would be fun to sit down and speak to you guys and potentially have friends on the podcast and just like different guests and all the things. So let's just get started. If I'm like looking off, it's because I'm looking right out of my window, and yeah, I'm looking at my neighbors because I don't know. I'm kind of weird. People watching is not something that I always partake in, but when I'm like, what's going on out there, I'm always a little bit questionable. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So what have I been up to this week? I have been out of town. I went to Atlanta on Friday. Yeah, I drove down on Friday, came back on Saturday. I actually was in a like fashion expo. It was this guy who we're mutuals on social media. He's a designer in Atlanta, and he asked me to be a part of his show as a model, and I did that, and it was so fun. Literally, like walking, it was like a thrill. I think that going out there by myself definitely was something that was really new for me. Like, I literally have never driven to another state by myself. I know that sounds crazy, but like, I'm not used to doing things by myself, and it always makes me so nervous to just like go and like just, I don't know, be bold to make like decisions like that. I think I had been very like dependent of like my friends for a very long time, and just like, you know, like kind of like having my family around, I had become very like dependent on that. And then like now, like being in a relationship, like I've been very dependent of my boyfriend too. So sorry, see, there's like people out here and I'm like listening. I'm like watching them. Sorry, but anyways, I had been very dependent of my boyfriend too recently, and I'm just like, Khadijah, like you need to go, and like you just need to live your life and go do this on your own. So that's what I did, and I stayed in a hotel, and it was just so like nice to like sleep in a bed myself. I was like a little nervous though. I'm such a little worrywart. Like I am always worrying that like something's gonna go wrong when I know that I'm completely safe. And like, I don't know, even getting on the road, I like had to pray. Like I'm fine. Like nothing's bad's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna be smart. And I'm just very like aware too of my surroundings all the time. Like whenever I go anywhere, I'm so like, okay, what's happening? What's up? Like who's this? Who's that? Do. So that's what I was doing. And yeah, overall, all in all, I definitely had a 10 out of 10 experience in Atlanta. So I will definitely be back, and or like go to another state, because it's like, why not? Like, why not see things and like have life experiences? And I always forget, like, girl, you gotta get out there. How are people gonna know who you are if you don't put yourself out there? So that was a really good moment this week. I feel like I put myself in an uncomfortable space, and being uncomfortable is good, as like what people say. Another thing that I did this past week, I kind of just like took time to myself to like get my mental together. I feel like I was just like, what is happening? Like, who am I? What am I doing? What do I want for myself this year? I am going to be 25 this year, you guys, and being 25 is not something to play with. Like I've always said, I had this vision of who I was gonna be when I was 25, and now that I'm 24, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be 25 in 2023, and I need to start like doing all these things that I feel like is meant for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys are 25 yet, or if you're all like 24, 23, 26, 27, but girl, I feel like your mid-20s is when you really start to realize that, like, oh my God, like life is here. I'm an adult. I'm a grown-ass woman. I need to get my shit. I need to figure things out. So that's really the space that I'm in right now. And I saw this TikTok, shout out TikTok, even though everything is going on with they're trying to ban TikTok. And actually, side note, I just found out that they took TikTok off of like local schools, like Wi-Fi. Like you can't access TikTok from like Tennessee State's Wi-Fi and 2 other colleges, I believe. But that's insane. So, anyways, on TikTok, I saw that they said, do what fulfills you. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I don't know why I never thought about life that way. Like, I know it's not that groundbreaking, but I'm just like, okay, what fulfills me? Like, what fulfills me? So this week I sat and I thought about it. I'm like, do I want to go to the club? And then the next day I feel like doubtful and I'm like regretting like drinking so much and doing all this stuff. Cause like, not that you shouldn't have a guilt around having fun with your friends. Like for sure, whenever I'm having fun with my friends, I'm always like, oh my God, like this is amazing, great life experience. But you know, when you go too hard and then you just feel like, I feel like trash. So like last time I hung out with my friends, like this past week, I actually went over to my best friend's house, Melissa, and our friend Genesis was there, and we literally just like talked, caught up. We hadn't all been together like literally in like 6-7 months. We caught up, we drank wine, we had 1 glass, and then we went home. And it was just so nice to just like be in the house and like have a glass of wine, enjoy it, and then go home. You know what I mean? Going back to your bed, that's just like lovely. It's just nice to just like wake up in your own space. So that was awesome. So that was one thing that fulfilled me. Another thing I did, I signed up for the gym. I literally signed up for the gym because I said, this is going to fulfill me. This is going to make me feel like I'm accomplishing and I'm getting closer to my goals and my steps in life. So yesterday, I literally spent the day figuring out, okay, which days are my gym days? Which days are my content days? Which days am I going to sit down and get my life and do this and do that? Because it's like, I'm the type of person, realistically, I always was like, yeah, I can multitask. No, I need to focus on one task at a time. Knock it off, get it done, get it out of there. I can't do everything in the same moment. I'm not Superwoman. I know I might come across like I'm Superwoman, but I'm not. So I just need to like sit down and hone in on what is actually important, like knocking my things off. So you see this board right behind me? It's actually not a board, it's a mirror. And I bought an expo marker yesterday and I literally wrote out, I don't know if you can read that board, but I wrote out all of these things that are going to fulfill me and make me feel like I'm closer to understanding what I'm doing and like putting myself out there. And like that's the biggest thing that I felt like I needed to do. So boom, that's what we're doing. Next thing that fulfilled me. Yesterday, I went thrifting. Guys, I have been going thrifting since I was a child. At one point, I didn't have an option. I only was able to afford to thrift. So thrifting back then was not what thrifting is today. Thrifting today is like, oh my God, you're thrifting. How cool and trendy and innovative are you? Back then, when we was broke and that's all our mama could afford or my dad could afford was to go thrifting, I remember literally people in school, I thought about this the other day. People in school would literally be like, oh my God, like you shop at Goodwill, like, oh my God. And now it's like, yeah, I just found these fire ass boots at Goodwill and I just ate you up with my outfit. It's just crazy that like that's the new narrative. Life is just so funny. Like your life and like everything that you do, it just like repeats itself, but there's always just a new outlook. If you really stop and think about your life, you're just like, yeah, this is a whole new thing. But it's not. It's the same things you've been doing. It's just a different perception. Keep that in mind. And I have to keep it in mind because I always forget about that. So thrifting fulfilled me. Getting a gym membership fulfilled me. Going to Atlanta fulfilled me. Being out of my comfort zone, it fulfilled me. And like, mind you, like a lot of these things I did by myself. I put myself out there and I was like, you know what? No, I need to have this experience on my own. I need to put myself out there and be like courageous and be like, yes, Khadijah, like this is what you want your life to look like. This is going to make you happy. And I've genuinely been entertaining myself. And I just think like being in your 20s, which obviously is the theme for this podcast show, YouTube show, I'm just like, I need to figure it out. But we're figuring out every single day, and I just feel like I'm getting like literally 1% closer to where I'm meant to be every single day. But guys, there's just so much. Like, I recognize that as a 20-year-old who has so much access to social media and just seeing like this satisfying like life that everybody has on social media, and just seeing that like it's like one thing just happens and now suddenly like everybody's like rich and famous and has this and the perfect this and that and that and that. Our generation, Gen Z, doesn't know how to, how do I say, be patient. Like, we're not happy with like what's right in front of us in our real life. We want like an altered life. Like, we want instant gratification for everything. And I'll give you a few examples. Like, if I see a bag and like I see there's Afterpay, instead of like realizing, oh, I can't afford the bag, I might just like go get it and then do Afterpay, because I have this mindset now that I have to have it now, right? But like all of these like celebrities and all these people who like grind it from the bottom to the top, like Cardi B and freaking all these like random people, like anybody that wasn't like a nepo baby, basically, like they actually had to like work really hard, and there was probably plenty of moments that they didn't have a lot of the things that we see that they have now. But in our head, because we all have social media and we're like, oh, we're all humans, we think that we deserve to have all these things because they have it today, when we don't see like all of the things that they did in their past to actually get to where they are, if that makes sense. So like instant gratification is just not the healthiest thing to have, because you just are always thinking like you deserve something right in the moment, instead of like actually having the groundwork and like just taking time to get there and realizing that like your time will come, and if you wait on it longer, then you'll be able to come back and it'll still be there. Because I think a lot of like why I think I'm having all of these realizations like in my mid 20s or my early 20s, like 24, I'm just like, wow, like I'm this young woman, and realizing like, okay, like me going out every weekend and doing all these things, like being outside, like outside is going to be there, at least like this is my perspective on life, like outside is going to be there, like the clubs are going to be there, like people partying's going to be there. That's not going anywhere. People are always going to have these fun things going on, but I am in a season where I'm just like taking my life and like putting a pause on all of these like grand like celebrations that people have every single weekend. And I am truly, I should have put my phone on mute. I'm truly like, okay, because I know it's going to be there, I'm going to remove myself and just like focus on my goals at this moment. I had this like thought the other day, and I was like, okay, like every single summer since I was every summer, literally every summer from when I was like a child to now, every summer we're like, oh my God, we're going to have so much fun this summer. I'm going to have so much fun this summer. Every time, right? And like, it's not that I don't want to not have fun this summer, but like the way I have fun now as an adult is different from when I had fun as like when I was in college or a teenager. Like when I was in college, a fun summer meant going to parties with my friends. I think it stops there. Like, I'm pretty sure like that's what it meant for me. Like I never was like always like going on trips and stuff. Like I didn't grow up to like have that life. Like I didn't travel that much. Like I basically just started traveling, and like even it's really just been in the States traveling as an adult. And yeah, so like that was my idea of fun. But now I feel like my idea of fun is kind of like altering, and I just feel like having fun for me would be like journaling, or it would be like going to the gym, or it would be like doing my content, hitting all of my goals for the week. Like, I feel like that's fun to me because I feel like personally that would just feel much more rewarding long term. And I just feel like I just need to settle and just like really look at my life and figure out what is going to change, because I have been having these like feelings for a while, like, Khadijah, like, you can be doing more, you can show up better, you can present more, you can go harder, but it's just like actually maximizing my time. Like, I know for myself, like, I don't want to stay up past even like 10. Like, when I see that it's 11 o'clock, I'm kind of like, ew, why am I still awake? I literally hate being awake at 11 because I feel like 11 is 12 and 12 is 1. Like, that's just how my brain continues to think about my life. And I'm like, okay, I, for the past year, have wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. and I still haven't successfully done that. You know what that tells me about myself? That tells me that I'm not willing to put in the hard work. And it just, I don't care. I know there's going to be somebody who's like, no, girl, you need to just like you need to be happy where you're at. And like, just, no, I need to stop making excuses. This all sounds like excuses. I'm not trying to make this sound like a really big rant, but maybe it is. Because at the end of the day, there's just so much more that I can be doing for myself. And I want to change the narrative for myself starting right now. Like, well, actually starting yesterday. Because yesterday I was like, I'm a boss. Like, I was like, I'm getting my things together. But it literally starts internally. I literally feel like last week was such a transformative moment for me. And it really kicked off like my spring, summer, if that makes sense. Like, we're in Tennessee right now. It's April. We're in spring. I just feel like the blinds have been like pulled back, and I've literally said, wow, okay, we're getting somewhere, we're doing something, we're figuring out something. So I just want to say, guys, if y'all feel like there's just things in your life that you want to change and you don't know how, you need to sit down with yourself and start writing and have a freaking wake up call. Okay, like, you need to like rip yourself, pull yourself by the hair. Ooh, I just hit the mic. I'm so sorry. I think that everybody just needs to be like, okay, I'm gonna get it together. I'm going to get it together. I'm not gonna play with my time anymore, with my life anymore. Because when you realize where your time and energy is going, you're scrolling a whole lot. You're doing a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of sitting, planning, doing this. You know how much I planned my life this year and I haven't done anything? The only way to truly make something happen for yourself is to write it down and then go do it. You have to go do it. You can't write down, I want to meet a lot of people, but you're not putting yourself in places to meet people. Like, I don't get it. How do you want to like build your network, but you're not going to places where you can network? It doesn't make sense. Like, be for real. So I feel like that's really all I had to say, because there's so many topics we're going to touch on in this new series. I still have to figure out what we're going to name it, but we're going to get it together. We're going to get it together, you and me. We're going to figure it out, because like, I'm not playing anymore. Like, I'm done. We're done. Collectively, we need to say that. We're done. We're gonna pull the blinds back. We're gonna boss up. We're bossing up in 2023. Dead ass. Okay, talk to you guys next time. Bye. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If I post this on a podcast, follow the podcast or download the podcast. But I don't know if it's a podcast, so we'll see. Bye.